Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to another Pallavi Market Research video. Today, we are reviewing Messari's 2024 thesis. Now, we're choosing to review this today because the market is doing some interesting stuff, right? But this is exactly what we expected. But, it doesn't make any freaking matter. It doesn't matter to me, right? Obviously, we know that. And it shouldn't matter to any of you if you're paying attention and you're listening to me, which is kind of the whole point of making these videos, right? I mean, now, I know people at Messari have a bias towards them. I think they're great. They provide some of the best institutional research in the world. So we're going to just review what they were saying are going to be the things to focus on this year, at the beginning of this year in January when they publish this thing. We're going to review it now because it's May 1st. Right now, at the beginning of this document, they provide some perspective for us because at the beginning of the year, things were not looking great, right, for crypto. And it's only in like kind of February, March did it start to look good. Early January, it was a little bit iffy, right? That is when this document was published. So if we review what the top 13, I guess, coins looked like 5 years ago, we probably feel a little bit more comfortable than we do right now, right? But very few of us are able to think long term. And we talk about in these videos all the time the importance of being able to think long term. And if you are not a long term thinker, you're a short term thinker, you get short term goals, right? And short term goals are inferior to long term goals, right? Now, this is a very interesting section here at 1.3. They define something called the liquid field. Okay. I'm just going to kind of read through this. So, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and US dollar-backed stablecoins represent 75% of the 1.6 trillion in total crypto market cap today. So I think around maybe like 2.4, 2.3 today, something a lot higher than that now. And they're saying that won't always be the case, and I think I agree with them. This person writing this, they found a company that claimed that 25% of the crypto pie, so the remaining 25% that isn't included in Bitcoin, Ethereum, US dollar-backed stablecoins, which makes up the 75%. So that's 3/4 are in that bucket. And the other quarter, the other 25%, will grow 100x from here, right? Over the next decade. And that investors are going to need sophisticated diligence tools to parse through thousands of crypto assets, which is exactly what PalaView is providing in the context of our newsletter value, right? So again, they think that sector of the crypto economy will go from 25% to 30 to 35% and will 100x within it. So it will most likely represent something like this number. Okay, so let's see if there's anything worth here. No. This is really interesting. Later down in this same section, he notes this. He says, obviously, this is not investment advice, but as a student of history, I know that Bitcoin and Ethereum may be today's market leaders, but they are not permanently and unassailably always going to be. I agree, especially in the context of Ethereum. Bitcoin is acting so weird this year. It's challenged so many of my preconceived notions about what makes it valuable. So I flip flop on Bitcoin, guys. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like its brand value is just so undeniable, and I have a hard time betting against brands, and because Bitcoin's brand value is like Coca-Cola. I mean, it might even be better than Coca-Cola because there's no Pepsi, right? Whatever. And this second part here actually really blew my mind. I did not know this. Of the 26,000 stocks in the American stock market, since 1926, only 86 of those stocks were responsible for half of the appreciation in the US stock market. That's mind-blowing, guys. So think about this. And he's suggesting that cryptocurrencies will experience a similar trend. Of the 26,000 stocks that have been, publicly offered since 1926, only 86 of those have provided half of the appreciation in the stock market over that time period. That, guys, is fucking crazy. And if you want to understand how that works and things like that work, you need to understand how Pareto distributions work. If you don't know how that works, maybe that's actually, I think I did make a video on this, so But do I need to remake these videos because I'm not really good at making these videos? You tell me. You tell me what videos I need to remake. That would be helpful because I'm sure there are some. Now, this is also pretty cool. This is a little later into the thesis, but he basically breaks down this really interesting idea, which is, kind of a business idea for all of you. A low fee auto rebalancing index that factored in token supply overhang and market liquidity would be a killer investment vehicle. Now, you need to, maybe if you don't understand those things, you need to go figure that on your own. I'm not going to walk you through that. But to get index exposure today, your options are either to pay too much on the assets under management. So you're look at this, 250 basis points. So that's like 2 to 2.5% of grayscale products. So that's like an ETF. And obviously you have the Bitcoin ETF now, but these ETF options are very limited for people, right? So they kind of break down the only cheap paths or safe paths, right? So buying an ETF, right, is obviously a lot easier than downloading a MetaMask wallet, swapping for some token, holding it there, moving it to cold storage. Not everyone's going to do that. So we need these types of vehicles, right, which PalaView might be involved with in the future, to provide easier access to more dynamic, less liquid, less institutional, less multi-billion-dollar net, value like Ethereum, Bitcoin, in that same way. Now, they also later in the document, they highlight something I talk about a lot on this channel, which is Circle. Because Circle is, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, but I would say for myself, if I could own as many shares of Circle underneath a market cap of 10 billion, I would. I would own as much of Circle as I could underneath $10 billion market cap. And this is 2022 numbers. They had a gross revenue of 800 million. Insane, 200 million in EBITDA. And if you understand the total addressable market of USDC, and if you believe me when I've told you in previous videos, and I'm saying again now, that USDC is the CBDC, the central bank digital currency that we have all been looking out for. It's all right in our faces. It's USDC, Fidelity, BlackRock, Blackstone. All of the relevant stakeholders already have a piece of Circle pre-IPO, and IPO could be happening any month now. Something to seriously track. So they highlight those numbers. I've never seen those numbers before, by the way. I do know that on their last round, they IPO'd it. They raised their last round at around the $9 billion post-money valuation in Series C, I believe. So I would actually expect that their IPO to be between 9 and 12, maybe 15 if they are stupid. But that's my best guess, and it will definitely fall from there, especially given how the market is. So there is going to be a solid buying opportunity under $10 billion. And in my opinion, this is a $1 trillion company, not financial advice. Why do I keep saying that? Because you guys process what I say is financial advice sometimes. Now, lastly, they do this funny little breakdown on Nick Carter and Matt Walsh and Balaji. Because you guys remember when, I don't know if you guys know or track these things, but Balaji, the Indian guy who thinks he's smarter than everyone else, and so is Nick Carter. They think they're smarter than everyone else. And maybe you guys think I think I'm smarter than everyone else, but I'm not. Whatever. But Balaji made this huge bet, $1 million bet, where he lost this bet. That he was basically predicting that coin was going to reach an insane price point very, very soon, and it didn't even come close to happening. So he lost that, and then Nick Carter is like, I met Nick once, so I don't want to be mean, but Nick is a Bitcoin maximalist. He raised a hedge fund called Castle Island Ventures, a venture capital fund. And it invested in only Bitcoin based services and products, right? So you know how that's doing, right? He's been doing that for the last 4 years. and he's been investing in products and services that are built on top of the blockchain, excuse me, the Bitcoin blockchain, Lightning Network, right? We've been tracking how that's going. You probably are aware that Nick Carter is not only losing lots of money, but he's losing lots of other people's money. And we don't want to hate on him for that because we all should, in a way, risk doing things that are going to risk other people's money so that we can remedy those mistakes in the future and do bigger, better things in the future and to get us out of our comfort zone. Because obviously, it's a lot easier to lose money with other people's money than it is to make money with other people's money. But Nick Carter has just he's been on Lex Friedman's podcast for some fucking reason. So, this guy, yeah. But they very kindly highlight this coin maximalism not really working out for these guys at Castle Island. And this isn't me trying to be mean to them. This is just me highlighting the fact that, you guys can't trust one source. You can't even just trust me, even though that's not the worst idea. But I would say you can't you have to consume as much competent content as you can because anyone who's maximally, anyone who's in that kind of Bitcoin maxi or Ethereum maxi, Avalanche maxi, any of those categories, you're you're not diversified, right? Your whole thesis is anti-diversification, which is not what you do when you run a venture capital firm, right? Especially when you're just starting out, right? You want to pick a niche, but blockchain and crypto-based services is enough of a niche. Bitcoin based services within that niche of crypto. Crazy, 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 crazy. But it is very interesting how, you know, these young guys, because of crypto and, because they make some money, they think they can just start a fund. And that is not what we did here at Palaview. That is the opposite of what we did. So we'll see how that goes in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. That is a research review of Messari, and we will pick this up again tomorrow. I'm back in Puerto Rico. It's good to be back doing these. I actually really miss these. I think I probably miss doing these for you guys, and you guys miss me, which is a little bit sad. But hey, you know, you know how it goes. So, put me in an Old Spice commercial and call me daddy. See you guys.